Okay, here's how to generate beautiful start and end frames for your scene. So, right up at the top is this button that says generate. You'll see the panel that's frames. When we actually make a video with AI, that video consists of a start frame and a prompt that essentially feeds information into the AI model about exactly what we want our video to look like. And start frames help us ensure that we're achieving the visual consistency and action and more that we actually want in our film so that when we go to generate video, we're much, much more likely to actually get the output we want. So essentially, we spend a little bit of money at the start frame step to save a lot of money and get a much higher quality video at the next step. So with this said, we're going to click generate here. You have two options, start frames only or start and end frames. I'll be honest with you, start and end frames are cool, but I actually think you should start with just start frames only. The reason for this is because start frames most of the time can get you everything you need in a shot, unless there's a lot of action or a huge difference between the beginning and end of a shot. A start and end frame isn't going to be that useful, so you can save your money and just focus on the start frames. With that said, start and end frames are there, so if you do need the end frames, you have that option. Now, start frames is literally the first frame of your video. That's what a start frame is. The end frame is literally the last frame of your video. Why it's actually helpful to start with start frames only is because sometimes the model takes a video in its own direction, and having a start and end frame can actually morph the video a little bit if it's restricting the model too much. So again, start frames only is a good idea. Now, I'm going to click start frames only here. What we'll want to remember from earlier is as these generate, they'll take a few minutes to generate. What you want to make sure you're doing here is the action, camera notes should all be stuff you're very happy with, because this action, camera notes, and more will inform what's actually in your start frame. Likewise, the characters, the set, and ultimately any props in your shot will also inform that start frame. So you want to make sure that you've selected the correct version of your character, that they have the right wardrobe. Maybe it's a scar that they have in their face in a specific scene. You want to make sure you've selected that version of the character. Likewise, you also want to make sure that you've selected the correct version of your setting and any props. Remember, having too many characters, any more than two in a shot, can decrease the consistency of your characters. They might not look consistent shot over shot if you have 4 or 5 characters in each shot. It's just too many variables sometimes for the AI to deal with. Okay, now here are the start frames. Some cool things to note are, first of all, it takes your emotion that you say in the action and of course your camera notes and bakes it right into the start frame. You can see here that Danielle, unfortunately, she's looking tired. She does look like she needs a nap, which I think we all can use an extra nap. Naps are great. And you can see the medium shot too, which is just great. The second shot, remember, we added this shot. This is not supposed to be in this scene. I'll actually go and delete this in just a moment. But you can see here, it did pretty good. Character holding the tablet, right? This is Aaron. Aaron's looking pretty sad. He's looking out a crack window and he's holding the tablet. So I'd say this is a victory. Now let's keep going with the actual scene here. I'll delete the shot. We don't need the shot anymore. So when we go on with the actual scene, we can see here that these star frames are consistent. Her posture is now more stiff, right? But we can see the same background, same exact character. This is all just on one shot. Amazing. Let's keep going. You can see here, same thing. We've got basically closer up shot because it's a tight close up, same exact face, same exact background, and we could see the resolve in her face. As we keep going, it'll load each start frame. Again, it's already been generated. So this is Daniel's hand shoots out firmly and decisively to stop Wilburn from reaching the pen. So this one I'd say is not exactly consistent. I think the lighting is actually the thing that's different here and that needs to be adjusted. So we're going to go back and edit this in our next session. I'll teach you all about how to do this. One more thing I'll add is, although I've cautioned you against using end frames, good news is that you can generate an end frame for a single shot rather than creating end frames for an entire scene. This is helpful because instead of actually, spending all the money, a couple dollars generating end frames for a whole scene, you can just generate end frames for the one shot that you want it to. and you just click generate end frame. Here in this button, when you click generate end frame, we'll actually make an end frame for that shot for you based on the action, the sound cues, the video input, and more. And then this will help you understand, okay, is this end frame what I want? You can, of course, edit the end frame, which we'll talk about in the next session about how to edit end frames and start frames. And this can be a good thing for you to do. Again, caution that start frames are usually enough for the models, and they can actually perform better sometimes when you just give it a start frame. So I want to save you money and save you time, but if you want to make an end frame for a one-off shot,